thanks for doing this. Sure you've watched the film and everything. Just what happened on that pass late in the game in the fourth quarter there?
Well, we ran it earlier, and Colin was pressured, and I slid under it for a first down at about 3rd and 10, I believe, midfield. I think it was second quarter. And then we decided to come back to it because it was still open. So the corner had me man on the outside, and Colin threw a terrible ball. It hit me right in my hands. It happens. He threw a perfect ball, went through my hands. I could have spread it out more, but I just ended up not catching it. So.
Ben?
Hey, Nick. Coach Muschamp said that tight end blocking was an area he wasn't super happy with coming out of that game, I guess. What did you kind of feel happening on that front during the game, and after you guys went back and watched the film, sort of what did you kind of see there?
I think coming out first drive, we did a phenomenal job, both O-line and tight end. I think we ran it down their defense for the first drive. They came out with a couple of different things. They changed their end from not squeezing me to squeezing me, and it kind of threw me off for a bit, but we practiced through it. I just think I need to be more physical. I need to take the game to them. I let Tennessee DNs take the game to me. I felt like I was receiving a lot of the blocks instead of giving them. So I think I just need to be more physical, us as a tight end group as well. I think Will came in, did a pretty good job, and so did Key. We just got to, be more physical and get ready for Florida because they're going to do basically the same thing, and they got athletes everywhere on the field just as well. So,
Rick Henry?
Hey, Nick, after having a few days to review and digest what happened on Saturday, what do you think of the overall performance of the offense on Saturday night?
There was obviously some good and some bad. I think it was second quarter or early third quarter, we came out and we wasn't really prepared. We didn't move the ball for like 3 drives, whether it was through the run game or the passing game. I feel like we relied a lot on Shy, and he came up with big plays, but we got to get a lot more guys involved that want to be involved and, want to work. So I think as a full offense, it was pretty decent. I feel like we have a lot longer way to go, but for the most part, I feel like we came out, we did most of our jobs, had a few screw-ups, but for the most part, we were pretty dialed in, just had a couple bad drives.
Dick Cox?
Okay, you said that you weren't prepared there in the early going. Could you elaborate on that a bit?
They came out with a couple different things second half. I just feel like as an offense, we wouldn't move the ball as well as in not prepared because we started off very, very well. We started getting a lot of slack, but we just got to take advantage of, the times where the Tennessee punter messed up and we got the ball on their side. I think we got the ball on their side one time, and that's the time we didn't come up with points. So we just got to take advantages of the opportunities that the other team gives us.
Dick Cox?
It looks like in this offense, the tight end's going to be more of a primary receiver, and you and Collins seem to have a good relationship there. What are your thoughts on seeing more balls come your way?
I'd be happy. Whatever Coach Bobo draws up and whatever we feel like is going to work, that's what we're going to do. We felt like the inside of basically between the linebackers were open, so they hit me a couple times, and when they started squeezing linebackers together, we went with some things over the top of their heads. So I just feel like as a tight end group, we're all excited because everybody is a selfish person at the end of the day, and they want the ball. But whatever Coach Bobo calls, we're going to do, and if it's to me, then I just got to make the plays. If it's not, then I'm going to do my job.
Colin Taylor?
Yeah, Nick, I guess Florida likes to blitz a lot with their defensive coordinator. I guess what have you seen from them on tape, and how do you guys kind of handle some of the kind of interesting blitzes they might throw at you on Saturday?
I think O-lines went over it a lot about just, passing it off, picking it up. We might keep a couple tight ends and running backs to help some of the weak sides for when they do blitz or corner cat. We're scheming it up to what we saw. They might bring some new stuff. You never know. Usually that's what teams do. They'll come in with a few new packages that no one's seen for the season. So whatever they bring, we just got to be picking up. But I think we're relaying it a lot to where sliding left, sliding right, picking up 5-0, picking up all the man. So it just depends on what they call. So we'll just do what they need.
Ben?
Hey, Nick, obviously this offense uses tight ends in a lot of different ways. Do you feel like you guys got to show kind of the full range of what this new scheme could sort of do in that first game?
I feel like we got a long way to go with what we can do, but for the most part, yeah. We had some outside routes. We've ran routes against corners, safeties, linebackers, so we did everything from the route tree. Blocking, we had to help the 5 techniques, the big D linemen, 300-pounders. We had to block the ends, who are just as athletic as anybody on the field. We had to arc, block the corners and safeties. I just feel like we're putting a lot of things in there for us to be successful. We just got to go out there, and I got to make some of the plays, and I got to make some of the blocks to where the game shouldn't rely on one score. It should be Gamecocks by 10 or 15 or whatever, but it shouldn't be as close as it should have been. So,
David.
Nico, the receivers, had some struggles, especially in the first half there. Out there at practice today, were you guys working on any kind of new schemes to try to address that, or was it just you got to get better at some of the little things?
I think it's more of the little things. We've put in a lot of new plays that we didn't run Saturday, so I mean that's just about every week. You're going to have new plays. You're going to take plays out that you don't think is going to work. It's just basically seeing what Florida does and scheming off of them. Some of the plays, some of the drops. That's just, I got to look the ball in. Someone else got to look the ball in. Ball security when we run the ball. Just it's the little things that we practice every day. We just got to emphasize more on it and start focusing more on it so we actually do it on Saturdays.
Ben Brenner.
Against Tennessee, you guys had, basically chances late in a tight ball game. What was Colin Hill like in the huddle, going through some of those drives? What was his personality like kind of leading the offense?
3 words: cool, calm, and collected, man. He threw a 40-yard bomb to Xavier, cool, calm, and collected next play. Threw a touchdown pass to Shy, next drive, cool, calm, and collected. Got sacked a couple times. That's just who he is. If he throws an 80-yard bomb, he's gonna go celebrate. He's gonna get ready to throw another 80-yard bomb. That's just Colin Hill. So.
Eric Boynton.
You mentioned a little bit about this earlier, but how much of a point of emphasis has it been these last few days about getting some more receivers involved in the game, with Shy having the 10 catches? I think Leggett had 4, then everything else went to you or the running backs. How much of a point of emphasis is it to get some other receivers to step up and be more involved?
I think Coach Cox is doing a great job letting the receivers know that we have the talent. You got people like Josh Van and DK who didn't get the ball, but they had the talent to have the 7-catch games or the 100-yard receiving. We have the talent in the room as much as everybody thinks we don't. But I think Shy did a great job when his name was called. It just depends on whose name's called and what we need to do. I feel like Coach Bobo did a great job trying to separate it between tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, no matter who was out there. But, some of the receivers and other tight ends and running backs know that we got to step up in order to win big games. So whether you're second string, third string, you're probably going to play, and the coach is going to rely on you eventually throughout the season. So just got to make your job and do your job when it's due.
Dick Cox.
After a not-so-good second quarter, you bounced back in the second half. I think scored on 4 of 6 possessions and all. What does the offense right now, confidence level, do you feel pretty good? And looking out, you had to see Ole Miss scored a lot of points on Florida last week, though. But talk about the confidence of the offense right now.
I think it's pretty high. I'd probably give it a 8 out of 10, but it needs to be a 10 out of 10 every Saturday. So we got some things to work on, but for the most part, we have a couple of linemen who are going to play long on Sundays. So we know we have the talent up top or up front. We know we have the talent outside. People like Shy Smith, Xavier Leggett, Josh Van, DK, people like that. If we get Jalen Brooks back, that'd be lovely. But NCAA, you do you. Tight ends, we have depth at tight ends. We have tight ends that are running 19, 20 miles an hour, like I said last interview. You have Colin Hill, and if something ever happens to Colin Hill, you have Ryan. So we have the depth. We know what we're capable of. We just gotta do it. We had a couple miscues and a couple missed opportunities, but if we don't have those, then we're gonna be in good shape.
Anything else for? Nope. All good?
Good.
Okay.
Love you, Mom.
Appreciate it, Nick.
Appreciate it.